time to sit down and get my holiday cards done for the year. I don't know why I do this every year. My mom likes them, I think, and some family members. So, who do I talk about? Usually, I just write out something simple like Happy Holidays, but I think this year I need to put in a little more effort. Might be okay if I do one of those like page long How's the Family updates, since most of the people who I'll be sending these to, they're not regular family. They really haven't seen me or heard from me since, well, the last holiday season. So might be a good idea to do that. So let's talk about some of the games I met this year. I think that might be a good idea. Let me go through my Steam library here. We'll take a look, see what do I got. Who did I hang out with this year the most? I don't know. It's hard to say. Well, maybe start at the beginning. So I guess the first game I met this year, right at the very first, was Horizon Forbidden West. Let me get my pencil out. All right. So Aloy is doing well. She came along with a new PS5 I got last year. Pete was kind enough to hook me up with that via illicit means. I think that was pretty good. So we hit it off pretty well at first. She's been spending her time wisely, shooting robot animals with arrows, setting tripwires, camping out, lots of outdoorsy stuff. You know her, she's pretty outdoorsy, and doing everything everyone asks of her. We all know she's a bit of a people-pleasing tryhard, but, we love her anyway. Always have, always will. We lost contact sometime in February because she's all over the place. Her map is intimidating, but last I heard she was single-handedly solving the political problems of the Forbidden West, so hey, she keeps busy. She sends her love and acid arrows. Last time I wrote, I was super excited to spend some time with Deathloop. Sadly, that relationship fizzled out early. Found them to be a bit too boring. I mean, they were really into the fun stuff. Sneaking, shooting, out-of-place profanity, but restarting over and over again just rubbed me the wrong way. In the end, they wasted my time, and I'm 40. Ain't got time to waste. On the plus side, I spent a lot of time with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. My mom remembers these figures when I was a kid. I used to collect them at a couple of series worth, and they're probably still in the old dresser at my mom's house. Probably still there. Haven't thought of them in forever, but they knocked on the door in the middle of the year and honestly have been great house guests. Spent a number of evenings murdering hordes of foot soldiers, shouting clever quips, and even tried my hand at online play. I know, super not me, but it was a fun experiment. They still come over now and again to kick some shell, especially with the kids. They are really good babysitters. And in the same vein as broadening my horizons, not with Forbidden West, get it? I think it's a little chuckle for myself. I got to know Hollow Knight this year. I know, a hard game. What can I say? It checked all of my boxes. Challenging gameplay, amazing aesthetic, horrifying creatures birthed straight from my nightmares. Oh, and if you're doing any traveling for the holidays, please don't go to Deep Nest. Whatever you do, do not end up there. Oh, and how's this for someone who came by out of nowhere? An old friend of mine, you may remember from, again, 25 years ago. One day, I think it was a Saturday, we're sitting at the table, eating breakfast, like you do on a Saturday morning, and the next minute, Chex Quest barged through the door. And remember how he looked 20 years ago? Like a crusty Doom clone? He's all swole and whatnot. New levels, the whole shebang. Looks good, but I miss the old crusty guy, not gonna lie. Spent too much time shouting one-liners and cereal-based puns, as much as I love a good cereal-based pun. Work's been good. Met a bunch of games for different podcasts and shows. Fed up with Marble Madness, Mickey Mouse Capade, and South Park for the PS1. Uniracers was delightful, but zoomed in and out of my life way too quick. Can't say the same for Barbie. Could not wait for her to leave. Barbie is a bit much. Don't let her see this letter. Same for James Bond Jr., but that was doomed from the start. Oh, and Maniac Mansion stopped by right when school started, and as charming and as clever as ever. As you know, they come by once a year, and it's always a treat. Also been getting contract work from other shows. Most notable was BioShock Infinite for games my mom found. It was a big job, but I got through it with my sanity mostly intact. We have a tragic history, as you know, and frankly, as my therapist knows. So, episode 165, as that would require another 5 pages of letter. Also spent time with Bart vs. the Space Mutants, Superman 64, and Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 for the Reliving Retro podcast. 1 out of 3 ain't bad. Also, guest on the Elitist podcast, had a blast with Tim and that crew as I failed miserably at playing games about games. Because I like games, I just don't know a ton about said games. And a dozen other meetups, acquaintances, and chance encounters along the way. All of them send their digital love, even the ones we'd rather forget we ever met. Oh, and Zelda. Lots and lots of Zelda. And while I have your ear or eyes, please add the following people to your holiday card list. They've been good pals and patrons this year and can always use a little TLC. Games with Coffee, Patrice Millette, the Let's Play Princess, BT Goebbels, the aforementioned Tim Knowles, Julian of Nerds Without Pants, Seth Sturgill, Dan of Retro Logic, Ryan Payne, and Pete Harney. Hope the holiday season finds you well and surrounded by friends, loved ones, and amazing video games. Affectionately yours, Bill Tucker from A Gamer Looks at 40. P.S. I can't stress this enough. Avoid deep nest at all costs. Whew. Now to write out 35 more of these. Why did I write this by hand? Maybe I can scan it? I bought this ream of fancy stationery. James, do we have like a sponge or anything to seal these letters with? You know, or like I can't use my tongue. Like a blotter, or like maybe a wax seal. That'd be fancy. A wax seal would be nice with a big T on it, or a video game or insignia. Something, anything, get one of the kids to do it.